Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Well, it's the 19th of December, 2012, so it means we still have 2 days left until that, doomsday thing. You can probably tell I'm less than excited, because I'm still in my 20s, and already I'm sick of how often I've been told that the world was going to end. Every other week, stars are going to align in a specific way, or a comet is going to rain down some alien virus, or the Earth is just going to start playing Twister for no apparent reason. Oh, but don't worry, man-made global warming, that's a hoax. Maybe it's because we live in a society that teaches us from a young age that the end of days is something to really look forward to, as the death of billions of people is portrayed so optimistically in anything by Faith Films. Ah yes, the sub-studio of the Asylum. When ripping off big-name movies just isn't enough, let's give them a half-assed soak in Christian mythology to sucker in even more sales, as we see in The Apocalypse, an obvious plagiarizing of Armageddon that completely forgoes the idea of there being any attempt to save the world for what is really important. Watching believers be taken up to heaven to be with God, and everyone else being horrifically slaughtered by said all-loving entity. So yeah, pretty much the same exact plot as 2012 Doomsday. Nevertheless, let's take a look at The Apocalypse and see if we should get our hopes up, or if it's something we should just completely avoid altogether. That should be pretty easy to figure out. As the film opens up, we see a nice collection of victims out camping. Sadly, no, Jason Voorhees is not about to go Judges 5:26 on them. Slasher movies apparently don't involve enough killing to be considered biblical.
Did you guys just see that? I just saw a shooting star.
Where? Actually, I think that's a meteor, and they travel at over 15 miles a second.
Really?
Hey.
A scientist? He's dead.
I know, girls like long hair. I mean, case in point is Fabio over here.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Does not nature itself teach you that if a man wears long hair, it is a disgrace for him? And Faith Films' interpretation of disgrace is, of course, big fucking flaming rocks. God snipes the filthy science type, and soon enough, everyone is killed in the most ridiculous ways possible. Wow, heathens burn clean. Is that the sweet savor that God keeps going on about? One woman escapes, but we never see her again anyway, so moving on, we are introduced to Rhett Giles, an Asylum regular playing the role of Jason.
Hello.
Jason, you gotta come down to the station now. This is unbelievable.
Don, this better be good.
You interrupted my Salisbury steak. I fucking love Salisbury steak. He leaves the delicious banquet meal, where 3/4 of the movie's budget easily went, to meet up with Don, played by David Schick.
Do you think that's from an airplane?
Well, it could be. Could be a rock.
Oh, no, it's an ice cream truck. Of course it's a rock!
That thing is so big. Don. Might be radiation.
Oh.
Well, then you're already fucked. After gawking at it for a while, another one fucking destroys downtown. Rocks. The plural of rock is rocks. It's not that hard, Don. In fact, he's so dim they have to drive closer before they realize what the huge explosion meant. No. No. Why, God? Why? I had Salisbury steak there! It was fresh out of the microwave. I waited 2 minutes for it to cool. Now what? Why, God? Why have you forsaken my Salisbury steak? Don is taking this worse, though, worrying about everyone else in this movie who we never see.
Son, when we get back home, you can call everyone from here to Japan if you like.
Oh, and it seems Rhett, an Australian native, is not very good at hiding his accent when he's supposed to be portraying a Californian native. Like his daughter is supposed to be as well, as we are introduced to Kristen Quintrell as Lindsay, along with her roommates Amanda and Laura, whose actresses you may recognize from the abomination Invasion of the Pod People. Asylum, you might want to make sure next time you cast your wholesome Christian entertainment, you don't recycle the same actors from your lesbian jerk-off flicks. Anyway, the news of the Meteors has reached them, and Lindsay begins freaking out because her mother lives in the city that was just annihilated. Fortunately, before she makes the stupid decision to rush out the door towards the burning wreckage, the phone rings.
Hello? Hi, Mom. Good. No, we're watching the news right now. I don't know. Looks like Monterey mostly.
Emote! Emote, damn you! Think of Salisbury steak!
I know, it's his plan.
Okay, that was easy. She survives. Can I turn off the movie now? Her mother, Ashley, played by Jill Stapley, tells her to stay put and that she's on her way. So we get to watch these Barbie golems discuss the situation.
I don't think I've ever known anyone that's died before. Have you, Amanda?
Oh, come on! Even blondes aren't this stupid!
They're in a better place now. They're ashes.
The fuck? Hey, writers, Lindsay's the believer and Amanda's the skeptic. At least according to Acts 2 and 3.
What better place?
With God!
And I have news for you, this is not part of God's plan.
Oh, come on, what about this?
I know, it's his plan.
And I thought the Bible had problems keeping the story straight. She leaves with her boyfriend, and we see an interesting picture in the background, but back on the story front, Ashley and Jason meet up out of the blue, and it becomes obvious that the two have been separated for some time, but their bitter relationship pales in comparison to the bomb she drops.
The one that hit Monterey was as big as a house. But the one that's going to hit the Earth is a rock the size of Texas.
It didn't make sense in Armageddon, and it doesn't make sense here for the same reason. If an asteroid that fucking-enormous were out there, you'd be able to see it with the naked eye long before the couple of days' notice both the movies give. After this revelation, pardon the phrase, Don leaves to go see his brother, and Jason follows him, but he suddenly vanishes.
What is it?
He and his dog. Yeah. Was his dog a good Christian? According to the church, that doesn't even matter. Dogs don't have souls. Speaking of the church, that's just where our God-fearing bipolar atheist Christian daughter is dragging her boyfriend, even though...
So what are we supposed to do?
He's agnostic! Yeah, you can't say atheist. That might scare the kiddies.
So what if I don't pray or whatever?
Andrew, I'm not trying to convert you.
I'll leave that up to the preacher.
What about your piercings and tattoos and stuff?
What, you think that God has a problem with my piercings and tattoos and stuff?
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. You shall not make any cuts on your body for the dead, or tattoo yourselves. I am the Lord. So, to answer your question... Duh!
You're not an agnostic. I mean, you believe in God, it's obvious, Lindsay.
Really, Andrew? That's some masterful detective work. Please, tell me how you came to that conclusion.
This is exactly why I didn't tell you about it in the first place.
Yeah, it must be so embarrassing to be Christian. Only 73% of the population shares your views. How ostracizing.
You're such a jerk sometimes.
Now, would Jesus say that?
About you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would say that about you.
me?
Yeah, he'd say that about you.
John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Except for Andrew, for that was a jerk. While they're being pseudo-pious, God is busy trying to kill her parents, so they quickly drive away from the landslide that came up out of flat land and has nothing at all to do with an asteroid. Easily escaping this, they continue their one-day journey to Los Angeles, which is now on day 2.
You have the odds of this right now.
I'm sorry we don't have that luxury. We have to talk about it now.
About what, God?
Jason, there is no more time. You've put this off long enough, you have to confront it.
Confront what?
Robbie's death.
Yeah, why not spend your last days on Earth guilt-tripping your ex? Before we get too far with this, though, we run into another actor from Invasion of the Pod People.
I'm Dr. Reed. My nephew, all right? He was here, and then he's not here, and he's gone, and I...
Wonder why he was left behind during the rapture. What was he doing in Pod People? Oh yeah, that orgy, right. After he screams incoherently for a little while longer, he leaves the frame long enough to disappear as well.
Dr. Reed?
So I guess God's just taking people one at a time just to fuck with them. But I must say, I'm impressed that God was able to suck all the people out of their sedans in such a way that they all managed to park on the sides of the road with no wreckage.
Looks like ash.
Really? I'd say fiberglass, but no. They also turn the hoses on and the Foley guys start pounding away with what's probably supposed to sound like hail. And of course this is the perfect time to have a conversation.
I wanted to see Lindsay. Besides, Wilson went to see his family in Denver.
Okay, so why come see me?
I thought that you would want to see Lindsay one last time too.
Have you ever heard of audio balancing? It's not that hard, you lousy, stupid motherfucking ingrates with the IQ of a tapeworm!
What is that?
Oh goody, it's the asylum's obligatory tornado. Despite the fact that there is no fucking reason the world should be besieged by twisters because of an impending asteroid, even Lindsay gets her own personal disaster, but Amanda is somehow so dense she can't take a hint.
Oh my god, what was that? Twister's coming right for us. What are you talking about, Twister?
I totally forgot about that creaking noise or the orchestral music playing in this scene. Going outside just to make sure, she realizes she is officially the stupidest character in the movie, so she takes cover out in the open, while Lindsay and Andrew hide in the bath where they at least have something to hold on to. Not that I'm actually suggesting anyone hop in the tub in case of tornadoes. A secure underground shelter is your safest bet, but at least they did explain that that was not an option for these characters. Amanda is sucked into oblivion, completely negating all that heaven talk from Act 1, and because Christ thinks he's a jerk, Andrew is also gone with the wind. Well, that was an interesting transition.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking of a Salisbury steak. Damn, I wanted that Salisbury steak! Yeah, it's on the road again with our bitter couple, so we can hear her chastise him some more about how badly he handled their son's death. Because, after all, God has a plan, and God's plan is perfect. As we can see with the fact that Lindsay is somehow still alive, though God beat the shit out of her, and even her agnostic boyfriend is still kicking. And Amanda? Killed in the tornado. That'll teach her for saying that all those that died are in a better place now. Wait a minute. Or maybe she just got flung a few miles out, like this lovely banker here, who holds up the two others, demanding their car, which they make no attempts to refuse over this 5-minute-long scene, before showing that he was just wasting everyone's time. But since it was off-screen, I'm sure it can be argued that he was just taken like everyone else that slips out of frame. At least we get to see the car taken a lot more directly. And wouldn't it figure, car insurance doesn't cover acts of God. Plus, while they found plenty of empty cars earlier, now their luck seems to have run out, and it's not likely they'll find someone to give them a lift as they decide to avoid the road and travel through the woods instead. And yes, this looks like the same landscape as the one in Alien vs. Hunter.
I need you to forgive yourself. I need you to forgive Robbie. And I need you to forgive God.
Get over.
Yes, you've been droning on and on about it all movie. If he hasn't yet, there's a reason. But what's a Faith Films movie without a random appearance of dead CGI fish? On the plus side, these look decidedly less fecal than the ones from 2012 Doomsday. Oh, you thought that scene had a point? You should know better by now.
Look in your heart, Jason. We're living it. The apocalypse.
Oh, don't even go there.
Well, you can't just pick and choose your prophecies. There hasn't been a single fucking horseman in this entire movie.
Open your heart before it's too late. Don't you want to see Robbie again?
If the rapture has already started, then it is too late. According to the Bible, if you're not taken in the first wave, you're fucked.
So I just died? This is it?
Oh, no. You get to burn in hell. So decrees our infinitely loving God.
Miracles. They're all around us, Andrew.
It's too easy.
But this is too easy. Life, the earth, me.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's all made of the most commonly occurring materials in the universe doing natural chemical processes. It's hardly impressive for a miracle. Their pathetic apologetic conversation is interrupted, however, when Khalil shows up, played by Amal Shah. He's probably the most impressive actor in this entire movie, having a few minor roles in various television series, and starring in his own series, Time for Passion. Sadly, no, it's not something that you'd find on Cinemax. Here he plays a professor from the university, so it's obvious why God decided he should be left behind.
If something was pushing on the atmosphere in a different direction, we could get shifts in tides, clouds, rain.
So that explains the earthquakes and tornadoes.
It's a piss-poor explanation for the tornadoes, and it doesn't even begin to explain the earthquakes. Has anyone at the asylum ever heard of plate tectonics? We've got to leave their half-assed exposition, though, to see Jason and Ashley have somehow found an airport in the middle of the woods, so they prioritize and start to raid the fridge. It's funny how an entire family can go unnoticed as long as they're just barely out of frame. This mother and daughter are Lynn and Audrey, played by Kim Little and Carissa Bodner. After a short standoff, Jason pays for the water at gunpoint.
These yours?
Yeah, well, I've got the one on layaway, and the other will be after 3 more payments. Of course they're my kids! After they come to peace with each other, our poster couple for marriage counseling decide that just because they need to reach their daughter as quickly as possible, that's no reason to bother trying to reach their daughter as quickly as possible, so they stay to shoot the breeze for a while.
You're really trying to find your daughter in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
We get another randomly gifted vehicle. At least unlike 2012 Doomsday, this isn't just handed to them by God. Instead, a kid steals keys and gives away things that don't even belong to her. Much better. Plus, this is a much more impressive vehicle, albeit a little overkill considering last we checked they were less than 100 miles from Los Angeles anyway. Back with Lindsay, her and Khalil start having a secret conversation directly in front of Andrew as if he can't hear them. But wait!
I believe.
Let's not let little details about what the Bible actually says about only believing after the fire starts raining down get in the way. We got a conversion, and it only took breaking both his legs. Hallelujah! At this point, he conveniently moves out of frame, so the next time they look down...
Andrew? Andrew?
I thought Jesus was supposed to come like a thief in the night, not like Batman. At this time, Jason evidently flew about 50 miles into the Pacific just so he can get the same tsunami shot from 2012 Doomsday.
Lindsay.
Oh, she's fine. She finally got rid of that boyfriend you didn't like.
That photo that you have of Robbie, that was taken 2 months before he died.
That's right.
I thought we didn't get that picture.
Didn't get it? Lady, your daughter had a copy at home. You have several of these photos kicking around. Looks like it's never too late for another meteor shower, though, as their airplane is pelted, sending them crashing to the ground, completely destroying their airplane, yet leaving them relatively unscathed. Except, of course, Ashley is still there to bitch and complain about everything.
At his burial, that priest was so mean. He blamed me for not saving our son's soul.
What do you mean?
We didn't have him baptized, Jason.
So, when you were telling Jason that he'll see Robbie soon... Wow, you are one cold-hearted bitch! She continues droning on and on and on about the rapture and souls and bullshit until even God gets fed up and throws lightning at her ass, leading them to a save point. Which is probably not the safest place to hide when you take into consideration just who is attacking them. See, what did I tell you? Thus, again, God kills off his devout follower and leaves doubting Jason alive. But, oh, don't worry, she's taken just like all the others. I guess God feels that if you don't come into heaven with at least a few broken ribs, and he wasn't doing his job. And so we finally come to the end of this long series of inconsistent, inconsequential, biblically inaccurate, logically flawed, poorly executed, and downright insulting bullshit as Jason finds Lindsay still waiting in the wreckage for her mother seconds before the asteroid finally puts an end to this movie. And everyone on the face of the earth is fucking killed! The end! Yay! Well, if that's the kind of life you're forced to live, I can understand why the end times would be something you look forward to. Well, that was The Apocalypse, and well, that speaks for itself. I don't know if Faith Films has ever produced something with any redeeming quality to it, but after 2 movies, I'm already feeling like this is just picking on an easy target. I can't understand the draw of a Christian movie when it completely fucks up representing the Bible it's supposed to be promoting. Yes, a very small percentage of Christians even know what's in the Bible, but when you're taking a position of authority, it helps if you at least do a little research. But I can't even get angry that this movie pretends that large swaths of the Bible were optional when it's hard to tell if the writers even knew what they were doing with the characters. Several of them completely change gears with how Christian they are or aren't with no rhyme or reason, like they changed their minds which of the girls was supposed to be the pro-Christian voice and never went back to rewrite the other scenes. Not to mention the fact that most disasters have nothing to do with one another, and it really comes off in this film like they're just working off of a checklist of so many people have to die in so many ways, whether it makes sense or not. The acting is all over the place, with a few decent performances that get completely overshadowed by emotionless deliveries by some and overacting by others. At the end of the day, The Apocalypse is nothing more than a predictable mess of low-budget effects, with what aspects it rips off other movies coming off more as insults and as even trying to properly plagiarize, tearing the world apart at 1 crucifix you out of 5. There really wasn't anything unique this movie had going for it. The disasters and effects were all recycled from their other movies, and the source material is thousands of years old. Come on, give me something new to complain about! Well, thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado, and remember, always finish your Salisbury steak, for you may never get to see one again. See you next week.
Kind of strange, that's all. Especially after last night.
Stop.